Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. I'm Kevin Kietzman with you until the Vince Show takes over at 11 o'clock. We got a fine broadcast lined up for you today. I've got some tasty topics leading you to the weekend. And what a great weekend it should be and week ahead in Kansas City. A little bit later, we will get into some of the goings-on with the SAVE Act, which has become just vitally important to me. I don't know why I'm so fixated with this, but it just seems to me that if Republicans can't get this passed, when it's an 84% issue with American voters, nothing's going to get passed. We're going to update you. They say they're very close to having the number of votes in the Senate that they need, not to reach 60, but in order to pass it, if they did the standing filibuster. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We've got an update for you. Mark's got a very important update at the end of the show on the Olympics of a stat that you won't believe. I teased it, so now you have to bring it home, Mark. We also have the musings of Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, who's really said some funny things now that ICE is pulling out of Minneapolis. But we start today with the event that has everybody talking, and that is a woman who tried to set the building on fire that Platform Ventures has built and was reportedly involved in discussions to sell to the federal government so they could make this an ICE detention facility. Over the past couple of weeks, we have watched officials and authorities state publicly that if you run into the owners, they've posted their pictures and told all about them and where they live and all this other stuff. If you see these guys that have this company that has $4 billion worth of properties in Kansas City, that is a Kansas City, Missouri business that employs hundreds of people in the Kansas City area, yes, do everything you can to shoo them away and make sure we lose this business in Kansas City. Well, Platform Ventures said, okay, we're no longer negotiating with the government. That doesn't mean it's not going to be an ICE facility. We'll see how it shakes out. It probably means it won't be, but it doesn't guarantee it. So they won, which is weak sauce. Every time we give in to these Democrats, they just get more and more emboldened. But it wasn't enough to just stop it. It was get in these people's face, ruin their lives any way you can, and we finally got that. As Channel 9 showed video of, a woman shows up with some sort of an accelerant and tries to set the building on fire. She's got a door on fire. It's all good. There's perfectly good video. This is not Nest doorbell cameras out in the middle of the desert in Tucson. Okay, this is beautiful, bright video. This woman should be the easiest person in Kansas City to find. And yet they haven't found her. And I would never question the police or investigators or people looking for her. I would question the authorities at the top saying, how much do we want to look for her? How hard do we want to try? I don't know that they want to try very hard. I can't imagine this is the most important thing to anybody in Kansas City, Missouri, finding this woman. Mayor Q never tried to tone anything down. He didn't actively say, go get these guys, but he was on with Pete last week. Pete asked him specifically about all this, and he never said, I don't condone the comments of the Jackson County authorities and people saying that they shouldn't be doing. He never said they shouldn't be doing this. Okay? Your Democrat elected officials publicly stated to their most hardened base, people just like the Tesla firebomber that we had last spring in Kansas City, Missouri. Remember that guy, Owen McIntyre, who's, I guess, changing his name. He's changing his gender. Went and set fire. I shouldn't say he, I don't know, set fire to the Teslas and is going through the court process. They've delayed this thing until August. What happens with these people is they're useful idiots. And the woman that went and did this to the building in Kansas City does not understand this. I feel like they're learning it in Minneapolis because they're not doing the crazy things they did before. They've watched their friends get arrested. They've seen 2 people killed because they were fools. And the more you do this, the more you realize that the people in charge in the Democrat Party do not care. They know they've got mentally deranged people in their party that they can inspire to go do nefarious things that are bad for your community, bad for whatever, but push a narrative and threaten and bully. You know who else does this? Mexican cartels. It's the same tactic. Yesterday, the acting director of ICE, Todd Lyons, was appearing in front of the Homeland Security Committee on Capitol Hill and said, yes, I've been doxxed. They have sent videos and posted videos of my wife walking to work. They've published online schematics of my home. In case you break in, you know exactly where to go. They did this to Charlie Kirk. They did death threats for me and Charlie Kirk on the same day. This is scary, creepy crap. That's Mexican drug cartels doing it. The Democrats have become cartels. It's the same playbook. Go do something. You got to stop Trump. Okay. So what'd they hear in Butler, Pennsylvania? Stop Trump. Here comes a bullet, hits him in the ear. What'd they hear in Palm Beach, Florida? Stop Trump. Dude in the bushes, ready for Trump, picking him off on the 6th green when he gets there. They got to stop. They got to stop this. We're fortunate that building didn't torch. We're fortunate that it wasn't a situation where the whole thing was on fire and embers are flying around and we get, trees burning and houses set on fire and people hurt and all that. We're lucky. The bad part is you don't hear anything about it. Where are the people that inspired you to go stop these guys from having an ICE facility there saying, this was horrible, we cannot tolerate, we're going to find, arrest, prosecute to the maximum extent of the law. This is too far. You don't ever do this. It's okay to go get in their face in a coffee shop. It's okay to confront them personally. But when people hear that call to action, and they're like, well, I can't find these guys, but I know where the building is. I can spray some fuel on it and set it on fire. That's what you want? How is this not a crime in America? And maybe it just needs to be a separate law for, I don't know, public figures, broadcasting, politicians, media outlets, whatever it may be, to inspire people to go take action against the political party they don't like. And then when they do it, how are you not complicit? How can you look in the mirror? I've never once inspired anybody with a microphone to go do damage to somebody, to go harm them. The closest I've come on this show was a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about that class at KU. I said it would be really cool, the Angry White Men class. It'd be really cool if some young conservative student took the class and videoed it every day and just posted the lectures. That'd be fun. In fact, you could probably, they may be available online. I don't even know. They might be. That's fun and harmless. That's not go get on the professor, go find the university president or anything like that. What's wrong with these people and where's it going to stop? And these useful idiots to do this, this woman, I think we have to have enough public pressure to arrest her and prosecute her. And by the way, they're thrilled she did this. And if you remember back, it's not that long ago, all across the country, Democrats were thrilled that their voters, their most whacked out voters, were going to Tesla dealerships and setting cars on fire. They loved this. We had one guy drive a Tesla and explode a bomb at a hotel in Las Vegas. We had all kinds. Remember all those people? Where are they all? They're gone. That story's gone, so those people are gone. What happens to those people? Well, this person, this human that lives in our area will allegedly spend a lot of time in prison over this if convicted. If convicted, they're clearly slow-walking this for Owen McIntyre, drag it out as far as and as long as they can to where when they get to the point of, that was a year and a half ago, nobody's really talking about this stuff anymore, let's just do probation here. Will that happen because it's not in the news? There is no equal treatment under the law anymore. There's no equal scales of justice. It's not equal scales of justice that you got 1 million people looking for Savannah Guthrie's mom and abduct her. That's not equal to somebody that lives in the hills of West Virginia who has somebody abducted. There's no equal. There's no equal anywhere anymore. We've just lost it. We've lost our minds in this country with this stuff. This woman needs to be caught. She needs to be arrested. Okay? And we need to move forward on proceedings. That is arson of a large, massive building. That is a real crime. That's worse than a Tesla bombing, firebombing. That's worse than what the Tesla guy did. The end result maybe wasn't, but the crime's the same. Whether you're good at arson or bad at arson doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She went and did it, and it's wrong, and it's wrong on every level, and we don't hear people saying that. And this woman who did this is going to be caught. We're going to be dragging our feet in a year. She still won't be convicted. They'll be delaying her hearing date and a trial date and all that. It's going to go on and on and on until everybody's forgotten about platform benchers and there's an ICE facility somewhere else and it's all over with. And this woman, in a perfect world, is still going to get convicted, go to jail, go to prison for a long period of time for arson, okay? But nobody will care. She won't be the Democrats' hero. Mayor Q's not going to be there with her. Jackson County officials, Manny Abarca's not going to hold her hand and come visit her every week. He's not. He's not going to thank her for doing what they wanted. By the way, the hard part of them reacting to this is they love it. They loved it. Yes, we found a useful idiot that tried to set fire to this building. If you know crazy Democrats in your life today, do them all a favor and let them know they're being played. You don't have to change your vote. You don't have to change your politics. But when they tell you to go take action, to stop ICE, to stop Trump, to stop Elon Musk, to stop Platform Ventures, do not listen. They don't care what happens to you. They're not going to be there when they slam that jail cell closed on you. Manny Abarca's not going to visit every week and bring you pizza. Ain't going to happen. He's thrilled you did what you did because you're a useful idiot, lady. You are. And that's their game. 913-408-7957. Love to take your phone calls next. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio.
From Lawrence to Leavenworth, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
All right, let's do this. We've touched a nerve today with many of you from my initial comments here of the lady who tried to torch the building in Kansas City after leading Democrats, and I'm sure online people all over the place, I don't see that stuff, Blue Sky and all the things they do, were imploring somebody to do something to Platform Ventures, so a lady decided to try to burn their building down. Nice move. Haven't heard any apologies. Don't have an arrest. Here we go. Let's go to the phones. Mike is up first in KCK. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, hi. Back in the year 2020 when they had the riots in Kansas City, 26 people, mostly all except one out-of-towners, that were transported to the plaza on air-conditioned buses and were committing major felonies, hitting cops, all these horrible things. The city council of Kansas City decided to absolve them of any wrongdoing and of all prosecution and crime, because even though they committed major felonies, they felt their causes were just, and that was more than enough to exempt them from everything. It sort of goes back to the two white ladies that dynamited the Senate years ago, and their sentences were commuted. One of those white ladies went on to form Black Lives Matter. So the moral of the story is, do the most horrendous thing you want, and if you're leftist, you're going to get away with it. But, if you answer a cell phone call on January 6th, they will put you in jail for answering a cell phone call if somebody was at the Capitol. And we have a local guy that Mondo had on there that went over with his mother that didn't do anything violent. They just were there, and they tried to put him in jail for 20 years. We're dealing definitely in a two-tier system of justice.
No question about it. That actually was the lead of my podcast today. Kevin Kietzman Has Issues. Is there's two sets of rules and laws for different people. I should say it on every single show on KCMO Talk Radio. At some point, there is no greater privilege in the United States than liberal privilege. It is the greatest privilege you can have. If you're a liberal and you go commit a crime on behalf of liberal policies in a liberal jurisdiction, they're going to let you go. They just do. Thanks for the call, Mike. Excellent. Well played. Here is Keith in Kansas City. Hi, Keith. How are you today?
Hey, Kevin. How you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you.
I got a question to ask you about. I want to actually get your opinion about policing. Now, when a warrant is put out for somebody here in Kansas City's arrest, the sheriff's department, they send officers to go and do the warrant for the person. They pick them up, and they're not masked when they come to your house to arrest you based on that warrant. So here's the question for you, Kevin. If I'm an undocumented person and I see somebody coming down the street with a mask on, with a uniform on, I'm going to automatically know he's an ICE agent. So I don't understand why they are masked in the first. That's the question. I'm going to know he's an ICE agent.
Yeah, well, for their purposes, they want to dox these people. They want to see the faces and the name, and then they want to put it online that this is a bad person. Go hassle them. That's what they want to do. They're doing it to the ICE director. I mentioned it in the first segment, this Todd Lyons. The cartels, this is not the Democrats doing it, but the cartels in Mexico have given maps of his home and the layout, the blueprints, the floor plans. They post videos of his wife walking in and out of work when she comes and goes about her daily business. They're trying to intimidate people to not do things like, how in the world do we have Republicans in D.C. that are intimidated to vote for the SAVE Act, the Voter ID Act? Are you afraid the Democrats are going to come after you, that somebody's going to try to torch your house if you vote for this thing? This is what it's about. It's all about intimidation. And the people that go out and commit these things, they don't care. When those people go to jail or whatever, they're just useful warriors in a game that they're playing. But the reason they want the ICE agents with no masks, it's an ICE agent. They're easily marked. They want the name and they want the face so they can post it online.
Yeah. Are you talking about the people who they're coming to arrest, right?
I'm talking when an arrest happens.
Dude,
there are millions of people in this country that every day all they're trying to do is dox people on the right. Whether you're a politician or you're in the media or you're an ICE agent, they want to dox you. They want to make it public and make your life miserable so you stop doing your job or you don't want to walk up to the door and do what you're supposed to do. Mark Kelly is a senator from Arizona. He literally said out loud that if you're in the military and you don't like Trump, you shouldn't take orders from your superiors. What the hell is going on in this country?
Yeah, man. All right. Well, thanks, Kev. I'll let somebody else get in, sir. Enjoy your weekend.
Great call. And you're right. If ICE comes to your house, whether they have a mask on or not, it's ICE. He's correct. Mark is in Shawnee on KCMO Talk Radio. Hi, Mark.
Hi, good morning, Kevin. You're starting to roll right down the street I wanted to go down. When unacceptable behavior becomes acceptable, this happened under Obama and those riots that went on. We just said, we got to let them go. This isn't violent. But you ask, when does it end? It ends when we have somebody like AOC who's in Munich right now, and she wants to have her little say. They say that maybe she could run head-to-head with Vance, and she could win in the 2028 election. It ends when we elect people like Mandani, when we can't agree on showing proof of identity to vote. It ends when these blue states elect these communists, these democratic socialists like Mandani, who are going to run their states into the ground. It's going to happen. We have to let it happen because we can't stop it. And it's going to be these states collapsing before people wake up and say, gosh, I don't know that this was very smart. We've allowed Muslims who don't assimilate, radical Muslims. I'm sure there's a lot of great Muslims and Muslims I could get along with, but these radical extremists that are buying up property and they won't assimilate with our country, our values are what we believe in America. This is really crucial, and you kick the ball off a porch that goes down like a pinball machine around a lot of issues, Kevin.
All right, Mark. Great call as always. You're the best, buddy. I appreciate your passion, and you're exactly right. And that's why the two things that are just absolutely critical right now, we need a legitimate census in this country that does not count illegal people, okay? American citizen census, and we need the Voter ID Act. And if we do that, we can slow some of this stuff. At the very least, we can slow it. But listen, the politics of the person on the ballot on the left doesn't matter. Whether they're a moderate Democrat or a communist, they don't care. Democrats are going to vote for the Democrat. Uncanceled continues on KCMO.
Vince Colonnese here, and I'm coming up at 11 after Kevin Kietzman on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Coming up shortly, why do we try so hard and what Trump should do in Tucson around the Guthrie situation. I've got something bold you're only going to hear, an idea that I came up with. See if you like it. Things you need to know. Yesterday, a court appointed Donald Kinsella to be sworn in as a U.S. attorney in New York. The court appointed him. Immediately upon being sworn in, Donald Trump fired him. Todd Blanche, the attorney for the DOJ, and Trump said the president picks judges, not courts. Sorry, Kinsella, you're out. Don Lemon will be in court today in Minnesota at 1 o'clock. His arraignment is scheduled. Also, Georgia Fort, the other journalist that went into that church last month. The lawyer for Don Lemon is a guy named Joseph Thompson. You can't make this up. He's a Minnesota federal prosecutor who just resigned a few weeks ago from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota over the Renee Good shooting. Apparently, he was asked at his U.S. Attorney's Office to investigate the partner and her role in getting Renee Good to run her car at that agent. And he and several others in that office resigned, and now he's going to defend Don Lemon. I mean, this is just so scummy in Minnesota. It really, really is. Maybe the only thing Don Lemon did wrong, the Constitution is going to protect him more than they would protect you or I, is they did ask him to leave that church and he refused. So maybe it's just trespassing or something like that. We'll see. Tim Walz has been chiming in on all this. He said after Tom Homan pulled ICE out of Minneapolis, quote, they left us with economic ruin. Okay, Tim, you're the guy that implored people to riot. You have a Somali scandal on your hand. You're not running for governor again because of all the controversy. Why are you speaking publicly? And then he goes on to say, the federal government needs to pay Minnesota for what they broke here. Oh, now you want to work with the federal government. Really? He said small businesses were damaged economically. More specifically, immigrant small businesses. He wants Trump to give money to immigrant small businesses after the chaos they've created in Minneapolis. These people are certifiable. Let's go back to the phones, and David is in Lawrence on KCMO Talk Radio. Hi, David. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Kevin. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks.
Hey, just heard you make a statement about Senator Kelly. The only thing I'm aware of is he was on that tape with those other folks saying don't follow unlawful orders. Is there anything else he said? Because you made it sound to me more like don't follow Trump's orders.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they were hearing. If you're a Democrat or a liberal in the military, that's what you're hearing. And you're telling me that an 18-year-old enlisted man in the Army knows what an unlawful order is? It's preposterous. It's impossible.
35-year veteran. No, I tracking that to some degree. I'm a 35-year veteran, and I guarantee you, within days of that happening, there were conversations at the appropriate levels. Everybody should know. I don't know why Kelly, at 06, I'm a retired 06, he should know that at the GO level, and frankly now at the brigade at the colonel level, which was his level, there are operational law lawyers, JAG officers.
Right, but
And
I'm asking you.
I operated at those levels, and we got to go through those folks.
I understand. In your first year, you're 35-year veteran, you're awesome, dude. I love you, and thank you for all your service. Your first year, when you were green and you didn't know what was going on, could you have told whether somebody was giving you an unlawful order or not?
No. So they
Of
do
course
get
not.
training
That's the
on
problem
that
with
if
Mark
they
Kelly.
training.
Mark Kelly basically covered his own ass by saying unlawful order. Well, he's just begging someone in the military to defy an order and have a huge national story, and then they could say, well, this is unlawful or whatever. They don't care. Again, they don't care what happens to the people that defy all this. Mark Kelly is imploring, he wants somebody in the service so badly to defy an order and make a national story out of it. That's what they want. Because they want to say, then they will say, sir, hang on, sir. Then they will say, see, even people in the military know that Trump is evil and unlawful and wrong. That's what they want.
I appreciate all that and don't disagree with it, but those people on that tape are stupid fools if they think that's what's going to happen. Because I'm telling you, in the military, when things like that come out, we deal with it at the very lowest level very quickly, and it gets explained. We stop training, we have a class, and we have the lawyers come in and explain it.
I get it, but members of our service have been court-martialed and jailed and everything else for insubordination and all kinds of different crimes that can be committed. There's a system for that. That's what Mark Kelly wants. He wants some stoolie to step up and do something stupid and make a big national deal out of it. That's what he wants, just like they wanted somebody to set fire to that Platform Ventures building, just like they want rioters in the streets in Minneapolis. They want this. They want this. They want chaos.
Yes, they do.
Good call, buddy. Appreciate that.
I don't disagree with that a bit. Appreciate it.
You're awesome, man. Thank you. I love that guy. And yes, he was at a higher level and knew all those things, and he would know what's lawful and unlawful. That's not who Mark Kelly's talking to. Mark Kelly's talking to some 18-year-old kid that's been there 6 months. And he's like, I'm in here. It's a family thing, and we're all Democrats, whatever. I don't like Trump, and I'm going to defy an order because Mark Kelly told me to. He's trying. He's trying. And they always get away with this. Always. Always. And they say, well, we didn't say to go do exactly this. I said unlawful orders. He disregarded a regular order or something like that. But even this shows that look at all these people in the military that hate Trump. That's all they want. And I will ask the question, why is the FBI still in Tucson at this Nancy Guthrie thing? It's time to pull out. Tom Homan got out of Minneapolis yesterday. Let's get out of Tucson. The sheriff there, Chris Nanos, is not working with the FBI very well. He is on the ropes, by the way. Even the liberal media, he's a Democrat. He was elected by a very narrow margin, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. And we've seen that in this investigation because before the FBI got there, because they weren't allowed there, and this involves Mark Kelly too, before the FBI got there, reporters were up on the porch walking around in the blood spatter. That they were just done with the crime scene as the reporters are up there taking video of this stuff. There's pictures all over the internet of the blood, of Nancy Guthrie's blood that was on the porch. They didn't care. They botched this thing from the start. And they kept the feds out of it for days. Okay? They kept the feds out. Mark Kelly, the senator, has bragged that he was the first official that Savannah Guthrie called for help. Well, it's pretty obvious what she called for was keep Trump and his people out of here. Let's keep this local and let our, sheriff and them handle it because we don't trust. We got Trump derangement syndrome going on. The whole family, including Nancy, the lady abducted, she had TDS. Savannah has it. They've all got it. Let's keep this local. Let's keep our Democrat sheriff in charge here. Let's keep the feds out. Then it looked really bad. And you're like, uh-oh. And so here come the feds. And Trump calls Savannah Guthrie, and apparently it went very well. But we haven't heard her say anything thanking Trump or the feds or anything like that. And now we learn that this sheriff is withholding evidence from the FBI. Well, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. If I'm in charge, I'm done. Savannah, sorry, you're on your own. You got your sheriff. That's good enough. He's got a glove, and he's got DNA, and he's got evidence from inside the house that he will not share with the FBI. He wants to send it to a private crime lab in Florida. We want to send it to Quantico in Virginia, the FBI. And he's not working with us, and he's not sharing that evidence. We're out. Good luck finding your mom, Savannah. The feds are gone. Good luck. We got more important things to do than this. And it should happen with a Trump statement where he talks about nothing else, no questions, nothing. He should come out and read a 2-minute statement and say, this is insane. They don't want our help. They're not working with our agents. We're gone. Good luck, Pima County. Good luck, Savannah Guthrie. Good luck, people of Tucson, with the people that you've elected. We're out. And guess what's going to happen? They're never going to find anybody. It's going to look even worse than it has to this point and more botched. And since it's botched, and what may or may not be used as evidence in court, if they ever do catch somebody, it's all compromised. Get out while you can. Don't let the FBI leave hanging on this thing. The FBI's starting to look bad. Just get out. Get out and leave it to the clowns. I'm sorry, this is awful. It's just one person. It's Nancy Guthrie. People get abducted a lot. People get killed a lot. It's terrible that it happens. Crimes happen. But if these folks don't want Trump and the FBI and the feds there, leave. Get out. What are you doing? Get out. They don't like you. It's almost like Savannah Guthrie has decided, okay, my mom's dead. I know there's 99.9% chance that she's not alive. All right, that's a given, right? And now she's decided the last thing we want is for Trump to solve this crime. We do not want Kash Patel to walk in here and Pam Bondi prosecute and all this other stuff. We don't want that. This more than likely involves crossing state lines. There's going to be all that. It's just these people are crazy. They're unbelievable. At some point, we try too hard. You're not gaining any points anymore by trying this hard. It was nice when he said he called her and we're going to full force of the government behind it, the whole thing. At this point, out. You call Savannah Guthrie before you do this and you say, we're pulling out completely unless you tell the sheriff and the local authorities we are 100% in charge. Do you want us or do you want them? It's your call. We'll keep working this. Your call, Savannah. And then I'm going public with it. Whatever she decides, she decides. But I'm out. There's no way I'm going to keep federal agents out there working on this crime when the sheriff doesn't want them there doing it. Over politics. And don't tell me it's not politics. We've discussed this on this show before. Everything in the world is about Donald Trump. You have athletes in Milan right in the microphone talking about Donald Trump. Everything, everywhere, including the ICE detention facility in Kansas City getting torched, is about Donald John Trump. Everything good, everything bad, every single thing. And this Guthrie thing is no different. And you know that sheriff wants to be the hero, wants to get reelected, wants to look tough, wants to stand up to the feds like you'd see in a Die Hard movie or something. Oh, we're not the feds. Local cop here is going to take care of this. You know, the real good guy. You've seen it in movies. That's what they're trying to pull off in Tucson. Let them. If they solve it, great. Great. They can have all the credit in the world, but get the hell out. Why? Why continue with federal forces in Tucson over one kidnapping, one missing person? If we sent that kind of man and woman power to every missing person, we'd have to have 10 million feds in the streets every day. You couldn't do it. And it's over the top and it's too much. It's been too long. It's not going to end well. We know we're all in agreement pretty much that she's dead. Doesn't mean she is. Maybe she could still be alive, but statistically speaking, you're at a place now where it's becoming a cold case. You don't have a suspect. You don't know where to look. You don't have a body. You don't know where they took her. It got botched from the start. Feds came in. It's not going that much better. Get out. Just get out. There's no reason for the FBI to stay at this point. And I think Trump should make a big, powerful national statement about it. Great. We believe in local government. Knock yourself out. Sheriff, it's all on you. You don't need us. Goodbye. We're out of here. All right, we come back. Oh, watch out for the claw machine next time you go to Chuck E. Cheese. And Mark Van Sickle has the statistic of the Olympics. That's next on KCMO Talk Radio.
From Gladstone to Gardner, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
All right, let's have some fun with Mark here toward the end of the broadcast. Vince Show is coming right up at 11. Webster Groves, Missouri, Mark, 2-year-old Cooper was standing by the claw machine at the St. Louis Soccer Dome when his mom turned away for 15 seconds, she says, to watch the other sibling play soccer, and he crawled inside the claw machine. How is this possible? Huh?
Got to watch out for those claw machines.
So how did he get in? I haven't been around a claw machine in a long time. I'm assuming you have. How did this happen?
So certain claw machines are normal like we would know. You got to stick your hand in there. But there's other ones now that have these huge squishmallows and other prizes that you can get that a kid could actually crawl into it. So I'm not too shocked by this one, actually.
Well, he did, and he didn't cry. It was a 2-year-old. Didn't seem to care. He was in a big pit of balls for 20 minutes. It was unbelievable. All the other kids in the place came up to the glass. They were all looking at him. They had to find a master key to open the thing up, and it took 20 minutes. That's the scary part.
Yeah, for a parent, that is absolutely terrifying. For the kid, he was probably having a great time for 20 minutes.
Yeah, a bit of a rough go. All right, how about this? Donald Trump has pardoned former NFL players Joe Klecko, who was convicted of perjury. I remember him. Nate Newton from the Cowboys, Jamal Lewis, and Travis Henry, all with drug charges. And his pardon czar is Alice Marie Johnson. Do you know Alice Marie Johnson's story, Mark?
I don't.
This is the lady that in his first term, she'd been convicted for life. She had a bit of a gambling problem, apparently, and she was working at FedEx, and she got involved in something that was white-collar crime, okay? And she got involved in this, and she got convicted for life. And when Kim Kardashian, a long time ago, went to the White House, said, listen, there's people in jail that shouldn't be in jail, Trump started working hard on this. He freed her, liked her so much, and got to know her so well. In his second term, he's made her the pardon czar. She literally was convicted for life, and she's looking for people all over the country that deserve to be pardoned. And she brought and announced 4 NFL players, Joe Klecko, Nate Newton, Jamal Lewis, and Travis Henry, and Trump has pardoned them.
Is Tamarick Vanover on the list next?
I haven't seen that. I'm sure his sentence has been served. Didn't he get like 3 to 5 or something?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember a Royals player named Willie Mays Aiken.
Oh, yeah.
He was convicted on like a marijuana charge, a real minor drug charge, but got like 17 years. Until people started working on it like this, saying, this isn't right, he needs to be out, and he is out. He works for the Royals now. And he's a great guy by all accounts, made a mistake as a young man, but wasn't some drug dealer or, gun-toting dude and all that stuff. It's crazy. All right, you've been following the Olympics, and you found a statistic that is just stunning. I'll let you do this because I'm not sure how I do this. I'm leaving this one in your lap.
All right. Well, as many people know, in the Olympics, at the Olympic Village, the athletes like to get together, if you know what I'm saying. And they give out free condoms at the Olympics. And now we have heard and learned that they have run out of condoms and contraceptives at the Olympics. 10,000 gone.
Were these for the entire Olympics, or was that like for the first week? Do we know? They got more coming? What do they got?
Well, it was supposed to be for the full Olympics, but I guess in comparison in 2024, they had 300,000 in Paris. So they didn't stock them properly. They should have had many more. That's a lot, though.
So we're not surprised at 10,000 then. They need 300,000. What on earth, man? That's unbelievable. No,
man, they should be, well, I'll just keep that to myself. Never mind.
Yeah, that's an all-timer. Okay, so they're out of condoms at the Olympics. Will you watch the Daytona 500 this weekend?
I probably won't. I'm not a huge race guy.
All right, no action there, no action in golf. You bet on soccer in the Olympics, right?
That's right.
Okay, so you and I are a little different in that
No
regard.
NBA All-Star Game betting for me.
Right. World Baseball Classic is coming up. The Royals are in spring training in Surprise, Arizona. Michael Wacha and Bobby Witt Jr. are on Team USA. They are now in a group with Italy, so they'll play against Vinny Pasquantino and Jack Caglione.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. On March 6th, the United States plays Brazil. Michael Wacha is slated to pitch 3 innings, maximum of 50 pitches. They'll be on pitch counts. It's interesting that baseball has embraced this. It's kind of cool. It's a precursor to the season and stuff. And Wacha says it follows exactly in the timeline of his ramp up for the season, so it doesn't really change anything for him. Those games are in Houston, and they'll be on TV. We'll see Bobby Witt Jr. and Michael Wacha for Team USA against Vinny and Jack Caglione. Have a great weekend, buddy.
You too.
He's Mark Van Sickle. I'm Kevin Kietzman. This has been Uncanceled. The Vince Show is coming up next. Have a fantastic weekend, KC. $16 and $217, right? All right. You know what the winner is? Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, 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 check. Disclaimer. That's it? Must be 21 years of age and present in Missouri? Oh, man, you got to love that. Let me get my stopwatch up on my phone.